In this lesson, I'm going to go over example 5, which was the homework from yesterday. Okay, so these questions involve collecting like terms first. So for the first question, we're going to have to collect 3x and negative 6x. So 3x minus 6x is negative 3x. And then we still have the minus 20, the negative 20. And then we still have the 4 on the right side. Now what we want to do is we want to get rid of the negative 20. So we perform the opposite operation on both sides. So we add 20 to both sides. And so we get negative 3x is equal to, so 4 plus 20 is 24. And now what we want to do is we want to divide by 3, by negative 3 on both sides. So dividing by 3 on both sides, by negative 3 on both sides gives us negative 8. Okay, so 24 divided by negative 3 is negative 8. Okay, let's now take a look at part B. So here we are once again collecting like terms first. So 6x plus 3x is 9x minus 10 equals 8. And now to get rid of the negative 10, because we're trying to isolate for 9x, trying to isolate for x, we are going to add 10 to both sides. And on the left side, we're going to have 9x is equal to, and on the right side, we're going to have 18, 8 plus 10. So what we would do now is we would divide both sides by 9 to isolate for the x. So 18 divided by 9. So x is equal to 2. All right, for part C now. So 18 and 2 we can add together to get 20. And then 4 minus 2x minus 6x. So negative 2x minus 6x is negative 8x. The number becomes more negative. What we want to do now is we want to move the 20, or sorry, not the 20, the 4. We want to move 4 to the other side. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. So 20 minus 4 is 16. So 16 is equal to, now 4 minus 4. 4 take away 4 is nothing, it's 0. So we're just left with negative 8x on the right side of the equation. Now in order to isolate for x, we're going to have to divide by negative 8 on both sides of the equation. And so that's going to give us negative 2 is equal to x. Now we can also write that as x is equal to negative 2. It doesn't actually matter if the x is written on the left or on the right, but by convention, usually x is written on the left side of the equation. Okay, for D, we can add 5x and 3x together to get 8x. And we can subtract 1 from 32 to get 31. Now what we want to do is we want to get rid of the 7 on the left side to isolate for the 8x. And then ultimately isolate for x. So we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. Remember, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other side as well. That's going to leave 8x on the left side. And 31 minus 7 is going to be 24. Now we can divide both sides by 8. to isolate for x. So 8 divided by 8 is 1, or just x. And then 24 divided by 8 is 3. Okay, moving on to E. We collect like terms, so 6x plus 3x, 9x, minus 2 is equal to 16. Now we want the 9x to be by itself, so we can add 2 to both sides. So the opposite of subtracting 2 is adding 2. So now we're going to have 9x on the left side. 16 plus 2 is 18. We want to now divide by 9 on both sides. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. So that's 1x or x. 18 divided by 9 is 2. So somewhat similar to question, kind of similar to B in some respects. Okay, F. So what we can do first is we can move the negative 7x beside the 2x first. We can group them together. So 2x minus 2x minus 7x is negative 5x plus 5 is equal to negative 10. And now I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So negative 10, take away 5. Now on the other side, I'm doing the same thing here as well. So what this is going to look like is negative 5x plus 5 minus 5. So negative 5x is going to equal negative 15. And now what we can do is we can divide both sides by negative 5 to isolate for x. And we're going to get x is equal to positive 3. So recall that when you're dividing a negative number by a negative number, you get a positive number. All right, let's have a look at example 6. So this is a word problem, an application question. So Student Council has raised $500 in the Spirit fundraising drive. The council decides to use the funds to buy school t-shirts to give away at a pep rally. To set up the design of the t-shirt, it costs $20, and each t-shirt costs $5 to buy. How many t-shirts can the Student Council buy? So what we want to do is we want to write an equation to model the situation and then solve this problem. So what we know is that to design the t-shirts, it costs $20. Now we also know that every t-shirt costs $5. So what we can actually do first, before even writing an equation, so you might be prone to writing an equation first, but actually what we're going to do is we're going to write a let statement first. We're going to let, in this case, T represent the number of t-shirts that the Student Council can buy. Okay, so basically how many t-shirts they can afford. They can afford to buy. And so now we can try to come up with our equation. So we know that they have to pay $20 for the design. And they also have to pay $5 for every t-shirt. So we can write 20 plus 5t, or 5 times t, is equal to, and in total, they have $500 to spend. Okay, so 20 plus 5 times t is equal to 500 would be an equation that models this situation. Now, we want to isolate for t. So what we can do first is we can do the opposite operation of adding 20. We can subtract 20 from both sides. So 500 minus 20 on the left side. So on the right side. Now, so on the left side, we're going to have 5t, because 20 minus 20 is 0. So 5t is equal to 500 minus 20, so that's 480. So now what we can do is we can divide both sides by 5. Okay, in order to find what t is. So we can use long division. So 480 divided by 5. So we have to think about, okay, does 5 go into 4? It doesn't. How many times does 5 go into 48? Okay, so we know that 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times 9 is 45. So 9 times. Okay, so now 9 times 5, 45. We now subtract. 48 minus 45 is 3. We bring down the 0. How many times now does 5 go into 30? 5 goes into 30 6 times. So that means that t is equal to 96 t-shirts. So now we want to answer the question, so we want to write a therefore statement. So therefore, the student council can afford to buy 96 t-shirts. Okay, so this is the first part of the lesson. There is also another part that I'm also going to post. Thank you for watching, and make sure that you also watch part 2 of this lesson.